Well, welcome everybody. This is Bill Lederer with iSocrates. Thank you for joining us for this session. We are pleased to introduce the beta release of MAdTechBI, which is a unified platform we're going to talk to you about that's specifically being built and tested, delivered for marketing and for advertising. Joining me in this introduction and demonstration of the platform is Amanda Morales, who is Partner Success Manager here at iSocrates and has been instrumental in helping us put this together. So with no further ado, let me introduce Amanda. Amanda, you want to say hi?
Hi. Hi everybody. Thanks for joining. I'll let Bill lead, and then I will take you through an actual demo of the platform and show you a couple of different alerts and a couple of different dashboards so you get a really good look at what MAdTechBI is and how it functions on a day-to-day basis.
Great. Thank you very much, Amanda. Let's talk about what we're going to cover in this particular session. We're going to start out with a very quick introduction to our company, iSocrates, and what we do. We will share with you our operating system. That is the larger schematic of how we bring together various technologies and services to support publishers, marketers, media companies, and enablers, including data and tech companies. MAdTechBI has come out of the development of our operating system, and it is really a core component of what we've done for ourselves. And over time, we've had a significant demand coming from others saying, gosh, how do I get access to that? And we're going to tell you what that is all about. We'll take you through the architecture of the MAdTechBI platform. We've actually got a short animation video to be able to share with you that lays out the architecture. And then Amanda's going to take you through a kind of a day in the life of users of the platform and how they bring together the various kinds of capabilities that we offer in ways that help them. And then finally, we'll open up to questions at the end. So if it's okay, we're going to get started right away. iSocrates began life in 2015. My co-founder, Michael Weaver, who's here with me, he and I started together as consultants, doing strategy and operations consulting work for some pretty big companies. In the course of doing that kind of work, what we learned along the way was that they needed help on execution as well as on strategy and operations. And so iSocrates over time has become both a consulting firm as well as a managed services firm. MAdTechBI has come out of the work that we are doing both in consulting and managed services as a way to get our hands and our clients' hands around the different disparate sources of data and analytics that are generated in their respective businesses. We've got two different lines of business, as I say, planning and execution. And I can tell you that for every client partner that we have, we are currently deploying MAdTechBI. We use it internally and we use it with our partners externally. There's a substantial staff, both in the US and India, that is focused on supporting these activities. Today we have nearly 10 of us that are working on MAdTechBI, and very excited about bringing that to market starting now. Lastly, this is a business where we are very focused on trying to save people time and money, trying to operate in a transparent manner, and being accountable for the value that is being generated. The savings that we're able to generate internally from our cross-border activities allows us to be able to reinvest in the kind of technology that we're going to be demonstrating in this presentation and in training for our people. The MAdTech operating system is precisely what you see in front of you. It has changed relatively little over time. We have been continuously building and testing what you see in front of you for the last few years. It is composed of both proprietary and non-proprietary technology. MAdTechBI sits at the heart of what we do. You can see that in the big blue box in the middle. It's a framework that has multiple steps, and we're going to take you through those exactly the way they operate. And you can see how they interconnect within our own internal ecosystem to the various platforms that we support on behalf of current client partners. It's quite sophisticated. It allows us to be able to operate in an end-to-end fashion, sharing information internally and externally, and we do so both in real time and near real time, depending upon the different functions that we're monitoring. Next slide. So for us, MAdTechBI sits at the convergence of MarTech and AdTech. That's why we call it MAdTech. And between both the supply side and the demand side, we're trying to bring it all together. And we think that we are probably putting together something that's pretty unique at this point in its ability to be able to service all aspects of these 4 different spheres. Our vision is then to provide our client partners with a unified media and marketing, data and business intelligence platform that is purpose-built for both MarTech and AdTech to serve both the supply side and demand side, including business to consumer and business to business publishers, marketers, agencies, and their enablers. The mission for us is to provide each of these different folks a single sign-on, a unified view of all of their activities. The platform is cloud-based, supports real-time and near real-time data. It's available on demand, and is composed of 4 key components. To be clear, these are components which we provide. We do not require these from our client partners. These are things that are built within the system itself and delivered to every one of our client partners. And we support this 24 hours a day. So we are pulling together linkages, that is adapters that integrate disparate data sources, can be structured and unstructured data, can be derived from marketing and advertising, as well as things like financials and operations. Uniquely, we consolidate this data using our own ETL software and software called Trade Element Mapping System, which we'll talk about. The ETL allows us to be able to integrate these different data sets, and TEMS allows us to be able to match up the data so that we can establish, is this a single common person household device across both PII and non-PII data. It is an internal identity resolution tool. That combination of ETL and TEMS makes up what we do for data consolidation. Unlike some other software in the space where there is data visualization going on, but not this kind of aggressive integration and normalizing of data and allowing for single view, we bring it all together. And that's really where we started. We started from the ground up architecting this solution, starting out with data rather than visualization. Visualization for us came later. We bring our own data warehouse. It comes from the Amazon system, cloud-based, multi-node, multi-core. Basically, it can scale in a very dramatic fashion to support literally thousands of logins and in excess of 1,000 concurrent users on the system. And it's built in a parent-child structure that allows for a lot of flexibility in terms of different permissioned access, both within clients and with their clients. And then core to all of this is the business intelligence component, which is both at the campaign level and at the enterprise level. It includes analytics, data visualization, including things like dashboards and scorecards, reports, and alerts. And I want to emphasize the alerts, particularly the rules-based alerts that Amanda's going to be talking to you about and showing you in just a couple of minutes. These four elements make up MAdTechBI. There are some other elements as well, but these are core. And what you would normally be doing if you are interested in these things is that you likely would be contracting with 2 or 3 or 4 different resources to be able to pull these together. And very often you're going to need full-time support from more than one professional services provider or staff member to be able to keep all of this running. But that's not the case for us because we do this on your behalf. Ultimately, the goal here is to make sure that the client partners benefit directly from what we've put together. And one of those benefits is just the sheer amount of time that gets saved. And we'll talk about that as we go forward. Next slide. So we've talked about some of these capabilities. We talked about the ETL and TEMS, and we've talked about the integration of data. This is fairly specific in terms of the different kinds of data that can be integrated. You see them from data coming from ad servers, various demand sources and supply sources, demand-side platforms, supply-side platforms, third-party ad servers, web analytics like Google Analytics or Adobe Analytics, various viewability vendors, header bidding, data management platforms, customer data platforms as well, email service providers, lots and lots of different kinds of data that can be brought together. The ones that are identified here, again, are specific to media and advertising, marketing. That's our specialty. One of the key benefits of MAdTechBI is it is purpose-built for this particular activity. We're not talking about BI that is applicable to other departments, other kinds of companies. We're really trying to make this as specialized as we can in order to be able to save time and money for anybody that wants to be using this. MAdTechBI includes the ability to be able to retrieve data from many different sources in many different ways, including API, email, CSV files, JSON. It could be cloud-based. It could be coming from databases of various kinds. So it's almost an unlimited ability to be able to get to the data, no matter how big or small it is, no matter how structured it is or is not. Next. A couple of other capabilities to be aware of. Basically, you've got a high level of security available. We have been using this now with a number of very large public companies that we support, where we have passed through significant security due diligence, and where the systems not only are secure, but they have been always on, available 24 hours a day to a variety of different stakeholders. There's a lot of customization available within what we've done, and there is white label capability if somebody needs to resell it or provision it under their own look and feel. So that's available. And as I said earlier, a parent-child structure exists within the architecture that allows you to have different tiers of access and use, where you can set the permissions that work best for your organization. The platform for MAdTechBI itself has several components. What you see in this architecture, and we're about to show you an animation that will bring this to life, is that we've got a number of different stages the data passes through. All of these are tightly integrated within the platform. There's nothing that you need to be doing separately yourself to be able to make this work. Our team pulls this together for you. We'll need to identify what your requirements are and your data sources and what the rules will be with regard to reporting and analytics. But all of this comes together as a package that's essentially pre-built, including large numbers of data integrations, dashboards, scorecards, already pre-configured. Amanda, can you take us to the animation and let people hear and see what this is all about? There you have it. No problem. It only took a minute. It took a few years to develop, but it only took 1 minute. So what we're going to do now is to take you through a kind of a day in the life of a typical user and how they might interact with what's available in MAdTechBI. To do this, Amanda is going to walk us through what a day in the life might look like. And Amanda, maybe you can explain who typical users might be.
Sure. So I'm going to start with an agency point of view. So what I always like to do is show several different email alerts, and you'll notice I'm going to bounce around a little bit between different screens here, but you'll notice the next slide does include an email alert, which is what I'm going to show you now. I'm going to show you different variations of them. As Bill mentioned, these can be completely customized to your organization's needs or your individual needs. What do you want to receive in your inbox when you get to your office in the morning and you have your cup of coffee already sitting there? What bird's eye view do you want in your inbox to then click in and see a more detailed view within the actual platform? So I am going to start with, again, an agency alert, and this one is called Programmatic Segment Usage. So I will pull that up here. Okay, so this allows you to see, and again, agency point of view, so this alert actually lets you see what the agency wants to focus on. So for them, they really like to see data cost savings and how many impressions are being served within each segment group. So they have third-party segments available through AppNexus, Salesforce Audience Studio, Checkout 51, which is their first-party data. So they like to see that broken out, as well as their click-through rate, data costs, CPM, and cost per click. So by clicking into this email alert, anywhere within the email alert, they are redirected to the actual platform. So I have that up as well. And you would go into the partner portal and log into MAdTechBI. So that same alert is triggered. Give it a second. It looks like it logged me out from before. It probably timed out. All right. Okay. So that same email alert is actually triggered off of an actual dashboard. So now you can see all of the same visualizations that you saw in the alert within the actual dashboard as well. So I mentioned before, you're seeing just a snapshot of what you want to see, but if you want to see any additional detail, click into the alert, and here it is. So a lot of cool visualizations. You can see usage by impressions trend. You can again see the breakout of the categories of the different audience segments that you're utilizing against your campaigns. And I should have also mentioned that for this particular client, we are not only giving them insights into this, but we are also their managed service provider. So we're executing on their behalf as well. So we're giving them multiple daily email alerts, but this one is specific to the audience segments and the performance of those segments and the utilization of those segments. So here you can see it again, another visualization. It's a pie chart, so breaking it all out based off of the different audience categories. And then you can also see segment level breakdown by campaign. So if you wanted to view an individual campaign and the audience segments being used for that particular campaign and how that is performing, you can do so on an individual campaign basis as well. All right, so now I'm going to show you a different email alert that this same client receives. Bear with me as I have multiple things open. So this is the insights into the campaign performance. So I mentioned prior that we were also executing on behalf of this agency. So this gives you insight into how every single campaign is pacing or underpacing, overpacing or underpacing. So there's different colors that you see in this email. Obviously, they're pretty straightforward, but red is obviously, you know, alerting you to take a look at that line item. For this particular client, we are communicating with them day in and day out. So chances are that when they see a line or campaign in red, that they probably are already aware of it, but this gives them that level of insight that they need. Now, this alert specifically is triggered about three to four times throughout the day, because it does change throughout the day, a campaign's pacing. But if something is in red, they can easily reach out to their partner success manager. If something is in green, it means it's pacing accordingly, and then yellow just means, you know, alert, like be aware of this, be mindful of this. So that is also linked directly to a dashboard, which I will pull up now. Okay, so the same colors that you saw within the email, you're also seeing here. This is personally my go-to. As a partner success manager, I utilize this dashboard very frequently just to see how everything is performing. Me personally, I don't rely on the emailers. I get them, but I have this open at all times just so I can see how everything is performing. And then you can scroll through all of the different campaigns. You can also see delivery trends, campaign click-through rates, goal versus actual, campaign budget spend, and campaign viewability, reach, a bunch of metrics that you want to be able to easily see in one consolidated dashboard. Let's keep going through agency dashboards. Now I'm going to jump up to the executive dashboard. We also have an alert that is triggered off of this dashboard, but this is really your go-to, right? So if I'm a campaign manager on the other end, from the agency end, I'm going to go into all of the individual dashboards, like the ones I just showed you. But if I am the director and I'm managing a team and I just want to see quickly a snapshot of how everything is performing as a whole, I would go to this dashboard, and that's why we call it executive dashboard. So right away, you're seeing your media CPM, your data CPM, your viewability, and your data cost savings. And this is against all of your active campaigns. So you can apply additional filters on the right. So if you wanted to specify a different time frame, indicate, you know, a specific campaign status, or isolate it to view only one specific advertiser, you are able to do so. But this executive dashboard right now is set to this and last month, meaning September, and our current month of October. So again, you're seeing how your media CPM and data CPM are trending, a scattergram of media CPM versus viewability, CPM and click-through rate. And then if you scroll to the bottom of this dashboard, you're seeing a breakdown by channel. So all channels display video and digital out of home. So this specific agency, runs primarily on these channels, runs their programmatic display against these channels, and you can see what's coming up in the pipeline, what's gone live in the last 7 days for each individual channel. Let's go to the next dashboard. And we're still on agency, just to be clear. This is another dashboard that's available for campaign status and distribution. So additional insights, where is the activity happening by region, impressions by channel. You also get your device breakdown and your operating system breakdown, top 20 sites by impressions and by performance, and again, insights into the number of campaigns that have gone live or are upcoming. We went through that one already. Okay. So this is another one that I actually use very frequently, and it's just giving us more insight into the eCPM. So your go-to column here is your variance column, right? So anything, it's actually ironic in this case because anything that's in negative means you're producing data cost savings, campaign savings. So if it's in the negative, it's actually green, and if it's in the positive, it's actually red, because that indicates that we're not producing savings for that particular campaign. So again, I mentioned in the beginning when I was explaining this agency, they're really focused on data cost savings and media cost savings, so we try to deliver that as best as we can, which you can see here by all of the green. But that's what this dashboard is primarily set to do. Okay, just a couple more. This dashboard shows you additional insights into delivery trends. So again, pretty much encompassed in the executive dashboard, but now you're getting additional visualizations that you might think are more appealing, that you might want to use instead. And then finally, for agency, I only have one more, your campaign level summary. So this one is the final one I'll leave you with for agency, and this allows you to see how a campaign is performing individually. You can do so on other dashboards, but this really gives you that level of insight. So you can see the flight dates, the duration, and then it gives you all of your different metrics. So typically those goals and KPIs are provided to us upon receiving the IO, and we'll input all of that, and then you can see how it's performing against those goals within this dashboard. All right, now I'm going to move on to B2C marketer. So I will show you what that alert looks like. So our B2C marketer primarily does email. So this is an email snapshot of how your emails are performing. This is currently the active campaigns. So what will typically happen is an email will deploy. Again, we're the managed service provider for this client as well, so we'll deploy the email on their behalf, and then they will receive an email alert one day after the email deploys, and then every day for the 7 days. Now, we have other email clients that only wish to receive it weekly, or others that want to receive it daily. Again, completely customizable to whatever your organization's needs are. But this gives you a snapshot into how all of the emails that are active are performing, and you see your opens, your clicks, your views, and your click-through rate against opens. I will X out of this now and show you what that looks like in the dashboard. So that same email alert is tied to campaign level summary. So again, you can see here how the campaign is performing individually. So the views and open rates trend by day, where the clicks are occurring, desktop and mobile, and by browser. You can also see funnel analysis, so that's really taking you through the customer journey. And then if you scroll to the bottom, you can see campaign clicks by link, so click by link reporting. But you can also see it within an actual heat map. So a lot of the times we work with clients that they're familiar with the links within their creative, but then, you know, it's hard to determine where that link is within the actual HTML. So this really gives you that level of insight so you can see exactly where the clicks are taking place. Show you a few more for email. All right, so similarly to the previous example I showed you at the agency level, we have an executive dashboard for the email clients, and so they can see how all of their active campaigns are performing, what their completed campaigns look like. So this is viewing all of the campaigns at once, not just one individually, which is why the metrics are much higher. All right, and then I have one more here as well. So this is just your raw data, so if you wanted to view it differently. The other one showed you, you know, all of those pretty visualizations, but if you wanted to download it as a raw data file, you would be able to do so here as well. Okay, let's move on to B2B Publisher. I will now show you an email alert for them. So again, you're seeing all of your different campaigns or insertion orders and how it's performing. You have your duration, days completed, impression click goals, pacing through yesterday, and that is also tied to a dashboard, naturally. So this is your executive dashboard, so you can see the impressions sold, clicks, and ad click-through rate. And you can also see the total campaign impressions against the click goals. Now I'm going to move on, there's just a couple more. I'm going to move on to B2C Publisher. So going back to the alerts again. Okay, so this is an example of a publisher email alert. So you can see the performance comparison by day, and then performance comparison by month. Now here you're viewing from a different point of view, right? Because we're at the publisher level. So you're seeing the impressions sold, the total revenue, the fill rate, ad requests, different types of metrics here. The demand source, the revenue that it's producing, and the eCPM. You can see the comparison by year. All right, and now I will take you to that dashboard. So that alert is tied to this dashboard. You can also see really cool publisher breakouts. You can see your revenue contribution, how it's performing by month. Again, always filters on the right-hand side, so if you wanted to add additional filters here, you can absolutely do so. You have your publisher level performance. This is actually one of my new favorites. I really love the look and feel of the calendars. So you can see how the heat map by date in terms of impressions, revenue, page views, and eCPM. You can see the impressions sold here as well. Just a lot of different visualizations to see the same data, but differently. your demand source performance dashboard as well. Your eligible ad requests, impressions sold. Just taking you through a few more examples for this particular type of client. I'm so sorry about that. All right. And then your site analytics. So this really gives you insight into the number of page views and the users that are hitting the page, as well as your bounce rate. You get your total visits by device, your page views versus unique page views. You get your views by country, which is always interesting to see where all of that is taking place. And that's about it for the B2C publisher. Now I'm going to take you to B2B marketer. Just one more email alert to show you at this point. I'll show you that quickly. All right. This is a weekly sales KPI dashboard. So this gives you insight into how your organization or your franchise is performing, right? So it's not only, the platform or the operating system isn't only used for managing your campaigns that you're serving on behalf of other clients. It can also manage your organization's internal needs. So you can see here we're tracking total leads in CRM, total calls, total meetings, total connected emails, the number of leads that you're getting on a weekly basis, as well as by business size. It tracks your CRM system. It tracks your email marketing efforts, the number of opportunities that you're tracking. So for this particular client, we'll call it, we are actually integrated with both Salesforce and let me keep going. Okay. There we go. All right, I have one more dashboard to show you, and then I'll hand it back to Bill. So when you are using the dashboard, we mentioned a couple of different user roles and rules and restrictions that we can put in place. So as an admin in the system, you're able to see the total number of users that are utilizing the platform on your end, so we can have this set up on an individual organization's needs, right? So that you can log in and see who's active in the system and what are they using and what are they doing in the system. So that's what this dashboard allows you to do. And that about wraps up my demo. I will bring back the PowerPoint and hand it back over to Bill.
Great. Thank you, Amanda. So you can see this is a really versatile system. Whether you're on the buy side or the sell side, or you're working in AdTech or MarTech, there's a lot of flexibility here. The opportunity is to use the existing dashboards that we have, or to be able to create completely new visualizations for you, which you can do yourself or which we're pleased to do for you. There are many, many different features that are available depending upon the different kinds of permissions that you might have. The three major forms of user permissions include administrator, designer, and viewer. Viewer would be a view only, which would be most difficult for partners to work with. You can see the many different kinds of use cases that might exist. We can go forward to the next slide, please. You can see that there's sort of a virtually endless number of different features that are included, and all of these are supported by a partner success manager, whether that's Amanda or others, to be able to support you. And our business runs 24 hours a day, so you can always ask us questions, and if you need support in a hurry, we're able to do that for you. We mentioned pre-built dashboards and scorecards, reports, alerts. These are some of what we've already built and that are in development currently, and you can see how they're broken out by their relative interest, whether you're a publisher, marketer, an agency, or an enabler. And again, an enabler for us would be someone that might be a data or tech company, as an example. There are quite a few different capabilities that are currently completed and others that are in development. You can see in the next few slides. Some of these are extremely involved and others are more straightforward, but all of them are customizable. So if we can take a look at some of the benefits, we've talked to you about the ETL capabilities, that's extraction, transformation, and loading of capabilities that allow you to be able to consolidate the data that you've got and to be able to make sense of it, mapped or joined together. All of this is in a single sign-in environment so that you can try to reduce the amount of time that you're spending across all the different platforms that you might be using. This is working for not only ad campaigns, it can be for email, taking a look at content consumption. So it could be that you're selling nothing, you're simply informing. It could be that you're looking at audiences, at the context of things. We're able to bring all of this together and relate the data to itself and to other sources. You can even run benchmarking to see how you're doing against how you've done historically, against yourself, and even against competitors or other sources of data. Lots of flexibility here. Other benefits include the ability to work across pretty much all channels of media, particularly the digital media. So it could be banner ads, rich media, video ads, both what you see in traditional websites and digital out of home. There's native advertising that you can put through the system, all forms of web and mobile, different kinds of mobile apps and email, paid social, paid search, SEO, advanced television, and over the top. Various forms of audio can be put through the system. Lots of dashboards and scorecards that'll save you a lot of time, and I mean a lot of time. Literally could save some firms weeks and weeks or maybe even months to develop on their own. Those are things that are either pre-built or ones that we can do for you. One of the things that we had not shared with you in this session is that we've got a significant requirements routine that is already built into the system that allows you to be able to identify what your specific requirements are for dashboards or reports or scorecards. You can fill out a survey form that's built into the UI. It goes directly into our support system and allows you to be able to expedite the creation or changes of dashboards whenever it is that you think of it, whatever day of the time of the day or day of the week goes right into the system for evaluation. You're going to be assigned a partner success manager that's going to help you to get the most out of this and to solve the problems, challenges that you're facing. If it turns out you need more, we've got an entire managed services team that can do as much or little, including the execution of media and marketing, if that's something that, that you're interested in. Overall, one of the key benefits is that you may have the opportunity to eliminate some of the things that you're doing now or some of the tools that you're using, or you could connect to them. So as an example, you can pull data out of our system and put it through systems like Tableau or Datorama or Google Data Studio, but you don't have to. You can live within this system. We can also export to PowerPoint or other kinds of environments. And of course, we're picking up the overhead both from a technology standpoint and personnel. So this is a very cost-effective way to be able to deliver BI. One suggestion that we would have for you is that we've got a freebie, a free download. It's a fairly lengthy read, pretty comprehensive. It'll help you to think about what are the specific needs that you might have within marketing technology and advertising technology, business intelligence. How do you evaluate and select a resource? How do you contract for it? What kind of value you're trying to get from it? If you currently have a resource, you might want to take a look and compare what you see in this guide to what you might be getting out of your current systems. It's absolutely free. It's available on our website, and we encourage you to download it, read it, share it if you'd like. Happy to get your feedback as well. So that pretty well wraps things up. We want to thank you for taking time with us. Definitely visit our website. Feel free to give me a call or send an email. Looking forward to seeing how we can be of help. So in the time that we have remaining, happy to take questions, comments. Not sure if this is in line with what your expectations were before getting on the phone with us tonight, but glad that we could share this with you.
Well, thank you, Bill. I had actually had no expectations, so this is nice to see, actually. I see you're using Sisense almost to its capacity. I was just curious, how much, what's your strategy when it comes to how much data crunching you put on Sisense? Do you have fully developed reporting tables, or do you let Sisense do all that business?
So the answer is that we do much of the pre-processing in our own environment rather than having it through Sisense. We try to limit how much of Sisense we are using, primarily to concurrent use of UI as it relates to visualization. Mm-hmm. There's relatively little processing going on within Sisense. We like to have a bit more control in an environment that we've spent years building and testing. That's that front end piece that you saw, that's the ETL and TEMS. So we try not to tax Sisense too heavily if we can.
I noticed that the performance was phenomenal compared to ours, so that's why I asked.
Yeah, it may be that what's happening for you is you may be leaning pretty heavily on their MongoDB implementation. We try not to do that. Sisense is great, and we love working with them. It's really helpful for us. But in all candor, if we thought that we could buy this off the shelf from somebody else, we sure would have loved to have done that. Yeah. But we found, particularly in an industry that has as much data as media, particularly digital media and marketing, we thought we had to construct it this way in order to be able to maximize uptime and just to get the performance that different kinds of stakeholders need. So wish we could do it only on Sisense, but it's one piece of a larger whole.
Thank you.
Susie, is this in line with what you were thinking this was going to be before you saw it?
Yeah, definitely. It's great. It's got so much information packed in there. Definitely excited to dig in more to that.
There's a lot there, and the thing that's not totally obvious is just how flexible the system is. Whatever a specific user's needs are, it can really be well accommodated. The other thing is that it's really built for large numbers of concurrent users, and it's where it gets really, really cost effective is when you've got a bigger organization where you could potentially have many dozens or hundreds of people that need access. The system performs very well, and it's super, super cost effective. As you can see, there's really no coding going on. One of the cool things about MAdTechBI is you don't have to know how to do SQL queries or to code. You can be native directly on the platform without having to do those things. And you can see from the customized filters that Amanda was working with, you could really do a lot in the view-only mode, being able to access what you need, how you need it, when you need it, without having to pull somebody who's the expert certified in the platform that may be, doing something else. You have to wait for them to be available. We don't have that. There's not a need for an analyst or a coder. You can be direct to the platform.
Hey, Bill, just a quick question is, and maybe I missed it in the discussion, but depending on what like user level or user group, is there different views, or are all the dashboards going to be the same across?
No, that's a really good point. So there's different, you can set up different views. So as an example, if it's an ad agency, you might want to show the brand manager at a brand one thing, and you might want to show the CMO something different. If you're running the agency, you may want an enterprise level view that rolls up multiple clients into a single reporting interface. Or for example, to be able to look at usage across the whole company or just portions of the company. For a company like Perry's, where he's working for a very big business, but it's inside an even bigger business in Mars, you could potentially break things down, for example, to individual regions. It could be a manager for a facility or for a market, or it could be someone who has marketing responsibilities for an entire business, but maybe it's only a division of the business. So
yeah, that's precisely how we do it.
Yeah, so one of the ways that we learn to do that is that we've got broadcaster clients where the look and the need at the individual market level is different than region, which is different than national. So this is a case where I think the Isocrates team has taken lemons and turned them into lemonade. Lemons in the sense that we have a lot of different use cases, but not necessarily a lot of clients with the same use case. And what we've done is to be able to sort of aggregate all those different use cases in a situation where it actually benefits lots of different kinds of users, but may not be obvious. For example, we were talking about a broadcaster who's got a distributed sales organization. That's not much different than a marketer that may have facilities or venues or activities that are spread out geographically all over the place, and where they need the ability to lock down things with specific geo-targets or by brand. We also have a client who's heavily in the retail business working with shopper marketing, and that's a case where you're doing large numbers of small campaigns distributed over a very, very large number of specific geo markets. Blake has a lot of experience with this. Blake, is it fair what I'm saying that the need for reporting at the market level is pretty critical?
It absolutely is, in terms of just, we get requests all the time from our partners for that granularity.
Another thing that we should mention is that some clients need this a heck of a lot faster than others. In some cases, they need real time, and real time is available. In other cases, they can wait for the day or for the week or even for the month. In some cases, they need in-market reporting. In other cases, they need campaign wrap-ups. So lots and lots of different use cases, really time effective. We're not yet in market long enough to demonstrate exactly how much time savings is involved, but this is dramatically better, faster than trying to do this yourself in a Google product, for example, or in some of the Salesforce products. It's really, really effective. But these are early days, and we still have much to prove, but so far it seems to be working pretty well. Anybody else? So I know it's getting late, and I appreciate your staying with us on a Friday night. Perry, it's good to see you.
Well, thank you. It's good to be seen.
Well, you guys, I think maybe even before Blue Pearl, but Blue Pearl hosted all of us, I want to say 2 summers ago.
Mhm.
Sharing your SciSense implementation. And it took us a little bit, but back at you.
Thank you.
Hey, Perry, you still have as much candy in the office as you guys used to?
I don't know. I haven't been in the office since March,
Oh, right.
but it's been very kind to my waistline. I can tell you that.
When I went to meet Perry's colleagues at the Blue Pearl office, like everywhere you turn around, there's candy absolutely everywhere because the company's owned by Mars.
Yeah.
And so I imagine that the pets are in good health and well taken care of, but I suspect that Mars may need to invest in a dental practice as well.
Right.
Thank you all very much. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks a
Sure,
lot.
have a
All right.
good
Bye
weekend.
bye. Bye bye.